Welcome back to Tech for Reviews, where tech meets innovation. Rocket in today's video. We're diving into the top 5 best innovative gadgets of 2025, the kind of gear that'll make you feel like you're living in the future. Whether you're a gadget geek or just love cutting-edge tech, you won't want to miss this. Direct hit, and hey, we're on the road to 10K subscribers, and your support means the world. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let's get into it.
Top 1.
Holiday smart glasses. At CES this year, several trends dominate the showcased products, including AI and smart glasses. Despite the fierce competition, Holiday's smart glasses stood out because of their impressive design and performance, which emphasize comfort. The Holiday smart glasses unveiled at CES have an invisible display. That is, the display is not built into the lens but rather integrated into the frame. This is made possible by using what the company calls the world's smallest optical module. Despite its 3.6mm size, the display provides users with a field of view similar to that of a 3.5-inch screen. The major advantage of such a small display is that the frames are very light, weighing just 35 grams. Compared to the 48-gram Meta Ray-Bans I wore to the event, these felt noticeably lighter. The frames have a classic, sleek design, a battery that lasts up to 12 hours, a microphone and speakers, and come in 3 colors: amber, black, and gradient. The tiny display is located just above the right lens, meaning you have to look up to see it, as seen in the photo of me at the top of the article. Although this may seem unnatural, it was pretty comfortable. Placing the graphics slightly above your field of view is helpful because it doesn't obstruct your view when looking straight ahead. The display shows your graphics, such as icons, words, and texts in green. You can use that DG window display for a variety of functions, such as AI real-time translations in more than 40 languages, teleprompter text, notes, notifications such as texts, music titles and lyrics, and even turn-by-turn navigation. In my demo, I went through several of these features, all of which focused on displaying text. I was able to comfortably read the text shown to me, a surprise, as I wear prescription eyeglasses that can make it challenging to demo this type of technology. There is also a dial you can rotate to match your eye prescription and a slide to adjust the display position. The Holiday glasses retail for $489. However, if you choose to reserve the glasses now, you can do so for a $9.90 deposit that locks in a launch day exclusive price of $369. The price is fair when compared to Even Reality's Even G1 smart glasses, which are similar in function and retail for $599. Top 2. Robok Seros C70 Robot Vacuum. I've spent the past few years of my life turning my home into the closest version of the Jetsons house that I can get, bypassing the mid-century decor and flying cars. While I'm pleased to report that many of the predictions made by the 1960s sitcom have materialized over the decades, many remain unrealized. The biggest one? Rosie the Robot. Thankfully, many companies are rallying behind the effort to create a household assistant robot. However, after being lucky enough to test the Robok S6C70 with a mechanical arm, I believe Robok has a definite edge on the competition. While other companies have created different kinds of household robots, the Seros C70 is a multifunctional robot that could be a stepping stone to the future of smart homes. The Robok Seros C70 is a premium robot vacuum and mop with all the bells and whistles you'd expect from a flagship, plus a mechanical arm to pick up objects. And I can't dive into a review of this product without immediately focusing on this robotic grip. When the robot vacuum is cleaning, it detects small obstacles it can handle and picks them up. The robot then navigates to a predetermined area to drop off the item. Then, the device returns to the spot the object occupied and resumes cleaning the area. The Seros C70 comes with a Robok bin that you can place in your home for your robot to drop soft items into. It's a rigid cardboard bin that looks like a small trash bin you'd see under a desk or in a bathroom. After your robot creates a virtual map of your home, you place the bin, and you add it to the map in the Robok mobile app. You can also add a larger area for your robot to drop off other items, like slippers and light shoes. The biggest question, of course, is, does the mechanical arm work as intended? After testing it in my home, I'm pleased to report that it does, at least the vast majority of the time. To test the OmniGrip mechanical arm, I set out 10 obstacles around the house several times and ran full cleanings. I also did smaller area cleanings with fewer objects. The robot vacuum sees the object and gives a voice prompt to announce it's going to sort an item. It deploys the mechanical arm and lines itself up to pick up the item. Once the arm grips the item, the robot travels to drop it off. It lines itself up with the bin or designated sorting area and releases the object, then retracts the arm. In my tests, the Robok mechanical arm picked up the intended objects 83% of the time. This is a great number for a robot that is effectively introducing this type of technology to the market. It's also a great number when you consider that the robot's initial rollout has a very limited number of items it can recognize and pick up. Robok says the Seros Z70 currently recognizes socks, sandals, crumpled tissues, and towels under 300 g, about 8 ounces, and that new sortable objects will be added continuously via firmware updates. When I only used the recognizable objects, the robot gripped and relocated 90% of the items. When I added other small obstacles like shoes, small cups, and plastic film, it gripped 75% of the objects. As a robot vacuum and mop, the Robok S6C70's performance is outstanding. I have zero qualms with it. It is one of the best robot vacuum and mop combos I've ever tested. It has the best obstacle avoidance feature I've seen thus far, so it doesn't get stuck on random objects, and it has an extendable mop pad to clean near edges. The robot also cleans quite thoroughly, much like the Seros 10 and Seros 10R, so you can count on it reaching pretty much every foot of your home. I did encounter some bugs with the robot's OmniGrip performance, but I can't fault Robok for them. Aside from the fact that no robot vacuum is perfect, and this one nearly is, these bugs can be attributed to the fact that this is really new technology. Some bugs included the robot only vacuuming and forgetting to resume mopping after dropping off an object, and dropping objects that were hard to grip, like kids' water shoes. The Robok S6C70 isn't the right robot vacuum for most shoppers. Instead, this robot vacuum and mop is perfect for early adopters who enjoy testing the newest cutting-edge technologies. As the first robot vacuum with a mechanical arm to be widely available on the market, you can expect to encounter bugs with the Seros Z70. It's only natural. Even so, I was thoroughly impressed with the robot's cleaning performance and the OmniGrip technology. I was also impressed with Robok's fast and widespread launch of this robot after announcing it late last year. The Robok S6C70 is the next level in robot vacuum technology, and it's pioneering the idea of a functional, multi-purpose household robot that you can truly rely on. However, it is quite expensive. The Seros Z70 will vacuum and mop like the best robot vacuums on the market. But you must be aware that you're not paying for a robot vacuum alone. You're paying for the innovation of having a future-forward robot in your home. The recent U.S. tariffs on imports from countries like China, Vietnam, and India aim to boost domestic manufacturing, but are likely to drive up prices on consumer electronics. Products like smartphones, laptops, and TVs may become more expensive as companies rethink global supply chains and weigh the cost of shifting production. Consumers may also experience notable price increases on robot vacuums and smart home products. Manufacturers are exploring options such as relocating production to countries with lower tariffs, but such transitions are complex and may not provide immediate relief. In the short term, shoppers should anticipate higher costs for robot vacuums due to these trade policies. Top 3. Anker Solix Solar Beach Umbrella. You've seen EcoFlow's hat with integrated solar panels. Now meet Anker's more practical Solix Solar Beach Umbrella, fitted with a new generation of perovskite solar cells. It can produce up to 100 W of total output from XT, 60, and USB-C connections, which could keep Anker's new battery-powered Solix Everfrost 2 electric cooler running indefinitely in sunny environments. Perovskite is a new type of solar cell that can outperform the silicon-based cells found in most of today's solar panels in almost every way. Anker claims its perovskite cells offer 30% better performance than crystalline silicon solar cells in bright light and double the efficiency in low light. The silicon-based solar cells shipping today in consumer panels currently achieve a maximum efficiency of around 24%, with a theoretical efficiency of nearly 30%. Solar panels that layer a perovskite film on top of a silicon base can absorb even more light. Perovskite cells can be optimized at the blue end of the light spectrum, while silicon cells harvest energy on the red end, to reach solar conversion efficiencies of up to 43%. That's a step change in how we harvest energy from the sun. Notably, perovskite can be made from low-cost, widely available materials. A UK-based company called Oxford PV announced in September that it had already started the world's first commercial sales of solar panels using perovskite on silicon cells, boasting a 24.5% efficiency, with improvements on the horizon. Unfortunately, Anker isn't offering any details on the origins of its perovskite solar cells, despite us reaching out with questions. That leaves a lot of unknowns around things like conversion efficiencies and life expectancy, the latter being a historical problem for perovskite. We also don't know the weight of the umbrella. We do know that the folding Solix solar beach umbrella stands just over 7 feet, 215 centimeters, tall with a 6-foot, 2-inch, 190 centimeters diameter. It also has an IP67 rating, so it should hold up to blowing sand and rain. There's still time for Anker to answer our questions, since the solar umbrella won't ship before summer 2025 for an undetermined price. We know a lot more about Anker's new Solix Everfrost 2 electric cooler, available in 23L, 40L, and 58L models. The rugged IPX3 unit features 6-inch wheels, large enough to roll over semi-rough terrain, small stones and rough gravel, and a fold-down tray that can also be used as a handle. However, only the 58L model includes 2 independent compartments to create a dual-zone fridge and freezer. Anker claims it's the first from this class of portable fridges to use air-cooled refrigeration instead of direct cooling. That will likely make it noisier and less power-efficient than competing models from EcoFlow and Bluetti, while having the advantage of improved temperature uniformity, faster cooldown, and no need to manually defrost the thing. The Solix Everfrost 2 can provide up to 104 hours of cooling from a pair of detachable 288Wh LFP batteries, and half that with a single battery. The batteries can also be removed to function as power banks, with 60W USB-C and 12W USB-A jacks to charge your gadgets. The batteries can be charged from 100W of solar input, a 12V car socket, an AC wall jack, or a USB-C connection. Prices are set at $699, 23L, $749, 40L, and $999, 58L, with pre-orders for the 40L and 58L models starting on February 21st before shipping a few weeks later. The tiny 23L model is slated to launch in Q2. Top 4. Lenovo ThinkBook Plus Gen 6 Rollable Display. I can confidently say Lenovo's ThinkBook Plus Gen 6 stole the show for me at CES. I knew it the second I hit a button on the keyboard and saw the concept-turned-real laptop extend its rollable OLED display upward, motors whirring, and a dumb smile forming on my face. Compared to the many new laptops, desktops, gadgets, and handhelds Lenovo is announcing at CES, the ThinkBook may be completely ridiculous in a lot of ways, and it'll start at a whopping $3,499 when available in June. But damn it, I love its quirkiness, and the fact that you can soon buy something so utterly unique for mundane tasks like working on extra-tall spreadsheets. The ThinkBook Plus Gen 6 has a flexible OLED display with small motors built into its hinge to unfurl the screen and roll it back down. It starts out looking like a fairly unassuming 14-inch productivity laptop, albeit with a slightly squarish aspect ratio and a resolution of 2000 by 1600. However, hitting a dedicated key or raising your hand to the webcam activates the motors, causing the display to rise to a tall 16.7 inches, with an extended resolution of 2000 by 2350. It took roughly 10 seconds for the ThinkBook screen to extend or contract, and while its motors aren't egregiously loud, they're noisy enough to draw attention in a quiet environment. That, and the fact that your laptop just freaking grew out of nowhere. The extra screen real estate in 16.7-inch mode is enough to fit two 16 by 9 windows stacked on top of each other. Going back to 14-inch mode tucks the bottom portion of the screen into the laptop chassis, where it hides below the keyboard deck and displays black pixels to not waste power. Reps from Lenovo, including Samuel Xiong of Lenovo Research, who worked on the ThinkBook's development team, said the nested location of the screen and small size of the motors in the hinge allowed for ample battery capacity, which seems to track since the laptop's 66 Wh battery is pretty typical for a laptop of this size. Xiong and Lenovo product marketing's Drupad Candy said the ThinkBook was thoroughly tested and rated for at least 30,000 closings and openings of its lid hinge and 20,000 rolls both up and down. Watching the screen go up and down just didn't get old in our short time testing it. By default, the ThinkBook plays a bright and colorful abstract animation of a flexible material coiling or unrolling while the screen rolls down or up. It's a cute graphic that's reminiscent of rolling homemade dough through a pasta machine, but you can thankfully turn it off and watch the display grow or shrink with your current window or app on screen. I suspect part of the animation's purpose is to distract from the little curls visible in the display, which are more obvious when it's moving and there's something darker on screen, like the Verge's homepage. The flexible OLED in the ThinkBook Plus is one of Samsung Display's IT foldable panels. Like the creases in folding phones, the ThinkBook screen has plenty of smaller creases along its lower half that you don't notice when using it, but look closely or stare at the screen from steeper angles, and they're clear as day. You can see them in some of my photos, but I must concede that my bounced flash illuminates the creases and makes them look more pronounced than they are with the naked eye. I went into this demo expecting anxious company reps wanting me to treat their precious creation like a fragile heirloom, and feared that just looking at this thing the wrong way would break it. I jammed the ThinkBook into a backpack, just like I would any laptop I'm commuting with, and I also closed the lid while the display was still extended, putting it in a ridiculous-looking overbite position, and all was fine. As for the ThinkBook's conventional laptop stuff, it's a fairly table stakes thin and light productivity machine, but not one with a bounty of ports. It can be configured with up to an Intel Core Ultra 7 Series 2 processor, 1TB SSD, and 32GB of DDR5X dual-channel RAM. It's got just 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports and a 3.5mm headphone jack, so be prepared to live the dongle life if you need USB-A or a card reader. One thing you may not need on your hub is an HDMI out, as Lenovo told us the ThinkBook is not really designed to be used with external monitors. That's because Lenovo had to program its extra screen real estate as a second monitor in Windows since Microsoft doesn't have baked-in support for a setup like this. Even in our short demo, it didn't take long to see some concerning and potentially deal-breaking software stuff. For example, you can't snap windows and apps to the bottom portion of the extended screen. Instead, you have to open Lenovo's built-in software and pin it to that window down there. This could be streamlined if Microsoft adds support for rollable displays in a future Windows update, but I wouldn't bank on that happening soon. While I'm super excited to see the ThinkBook Plus actually become a real thing people can buy, I fear the software and OS limitations may hold back its fun potential and make it too fussy. I'm very curious to test it over the long term to see what living the rollable life is like. Top 5. Circular Ring 2 Smart Ring. I was not at all impressed with the Circular Ring Slim. It wasn't accurate. It felt like it was made of 3D printed plastic, syncing took forever, battery life wasn't great, and honestly, we'd be here all day if I listed everything that went wrong during testing. But for CES 2025, the company behind the ring says it's here to redeem itself with a $380 Circular Ring 2. We had some issues, obviously, with the previous ring, says Amaury Cosman, co-founder and CEO of Circular. Mostly electronic, but more than that, we wanted to rebrand the company around 2 main points. One being accuracy, and the other being a more luxurious, quality-built product. That's immediately apparent looking at the Circular Ring 2's design and specs. For starters, it's no longer plastic. The Ring 2 is now made from titanium in 4 finishes: gold, silver, rose gold, and black. It also sports an upgraded EKG sensor that allows for FDA-cleared atrial fibrillation detection, a first for this category. Beyond that, the new ring has additional photoplethysmography, PPG, sensors for more precise readings. Cosman says the upgraded sensor array translates to much more accurate health tracking compared to the Slim. It's a good thing, too. The Slim was sometimes off by 5,000 steps in my testing. We also took into consideration everything we've learned from what was told to us by customers. The biggest things were connectivity issues, battery life, and at the beginning, the ring wasn't entirely waterproof. The Slim tried to correct some of that, but obviously we weren't doing it perfectly, Cosman says, noting that these issues have also been improved in the new ring. As mentioned, syncing was an absolute chore with the Slim. So much so, I often just gave up on engaging with the device. Now, Cosman says the circular ring too should have no problems with background syncing. He also assures me that battery life has doubled. In performance mode, where all the tracking features are turned on, users ought to get around 4 days. In a battery-saving mode, the ring gets up to 8 days. Also, instead of a tiny, easily lost USB charger, Circular has switched to a charging dock. Circular's AI chatbot Kira has also been revamped. Previously, it took 14 days to calibrate, took forever to generate dubious advice, and overall was cumbersome to use. With the Ring 2, Cosman says that it'll only take about 4 days to calibrate and the overall experience will be smoother. Recommendations should also be more accurate and complex thanks to improvements to the algorithm and sensors. Another neat update is that Circular will add digital sizing. Cosman says the company's website will let customers use their smartphone camera to compare the size of their hand to a card-sized object. From there, Cosman says the company will be able to calculate which size ring a person needs for each finger. Smart ring sizing is a huge pain point for the category, and most companies require customers to order a physical sizing kit before they can actually buy the product. On paper, it seems like Circular has taken the laundry list of issues with the Slim and ticked them off one by one. To do that, though, some sacrifices had to be made. One of the Slim's unique features was a built-in haptic motor that worked as a silent alarm. In the future, Circular had promised that the motor could also alert you to notifications. Unfortunately, Cosman says the haptic motor had to go to accommodate better health sensors. That said, Cosman isn't giving up on the idea of haptics in smart rings entirely. The goal is to have 2 product lines, the Circular Ring 2, a more health-focused ring in line with what's currently available on the market, and an upcoming revamp to the existing haptics-capable Circular Ring Slim. The Circular Ring 2 will be priced at $380 and is expected to launch in February or March of 2025. We'll have to see and test for ourselves whether Circular can deliver on all these improvements. It's certainly a tall order considering that there's increasing competition in the smart ring space. But if it can, that'd be one hell of a redemption arc. That wraps up our look at the top 5 innovative gadgets of 2025. Which one blew your mind the most? Speech Balloon, drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Tech for Reviews. We're aiming for 10K subscribers, and you can help us get there. With over 100,000 views and more than 4,000 watch hours, this channel is just getting started. Pushpin, don't forget, the full product links and details are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next review.